radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening, Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. It's Thursday. It's Fadernight. January 18th. 18 days into the new year. Just 347 days left. And we are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? It's Thursday night. It's Fader night. I'm in the chair. Open lines all night long. We've got the No More Fake News Room with Jon Rappoport, followed by Open Line. So how much better can it be, right? Now, the week doesn't end for us tonight. I would like it to. Because this weekend I'm over at Coast to Coast AM. Yeah, man. Friday and Saturday I'm over at Coast. And tomorrow night my guest is Corey Good, followed by Open Lines. Yeah, Corey's going to take phone calls tomorrow night. So you want to jump in on that. And then Saturday, my guest is Anthony F. Sanchez over on Coast to Coast. I think L.A. Marzulli is going to be in for a bit, too, as well, to talk about the press conference. And there you go. And then after all of that, then we just wind up and do another week here on Fade to Black. And then I'm back over at Coast to Coast next weekend. And then next Saturday, I'll be over at the NAMM show down in Anaheim with our good friends, Tascam. And I'll be at the Tascam booth at 1 p.m. on Saturday. So if you're going to be at the NAMM show, come by and hang out with us. It's going to be really cool. Love the NAMM show. And one of the things, because I was in the music business, my whole life, really, going right up to broadcast, is the NAMM show, because I've gone to so many. I don't know what the number is, but I've been attending NAMM since 1984, 1985. So that's 33 years right there. And then all of the summer NAMM shows that I attended, because there's 2 NAMM shows every year. So I don't know what the number is, but it's got to be 40 or 50 NAMM shows that I've attended. And when you do that and it's your career, you know everybody there. You just know everybody. And when I say everybody, that's exactly what I mean. So for me and for everybody that attends NAMM, that's part of MI, the music industry, we're all family there. And so you can just walk around and go from booth to booth and say hello to everybody. And that's what it's about for me, to go and hang out with friends that I have known, for 30 plus years. It's an insane thing to be able to do. And so come down and hang out with us. I was just texting with some friends of mine, John Dominguez and Kenny Marquez. John and Kenny I've known since, again, 1984, 85. We had a band together. Not with Kenny. I played with Kenny, but John was the drummer of my band for years, Emergency. And so, you know what? We're getting together, right? Davey Gasper is playing on the main stage down there on Saturday. And again, I've known Davey, had a band with Davey back in the 80s, and we're able to get together and hang out, walk around and see everybody, James Fox and Paul Reed Smith, and of course everybody at Elise's and Tascam and JBL and just all those great companies down there, Mackey, and so we're going to go hang out. All right, so if you are going to be at the NAMM show, I will be there on Saturday. Like I said, there are no days off around here. Okay, now let's get a few things out of the way really quick. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio, simple, at JChurchRadio. Want to hang out in the sandbox? That is hashtag F2B. And that's where we hang out on Twitter. Of course, the chat rooms are open over in Spreaker and KGRA The Planet. You can go and do that too as well. You can email throughout the show, Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. I've got a little bit of breaking news here. I'm making this announcement tonight. Numana Food Storage has a new deal for the Fadernauts running through the end of the month, through the end of January. And this new promo code just for the Fadernauts. Now, check this out. Use the new promo code Jimmy10, Jimmy 10, the number 10, together, Jimmy 10, and you will get, this is no joke, listen to this, you will get 10% off of your order and free shipping and an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt on any order over $100. Now, that's the deal. Right there. Now, it's running through the end of the month through January 31st. Jimmy 10. I think Monday or Tuesday, we're going to get Daniel in here from Numana to talk about this very special promotion that we're doing just for the Fadernauts. Again, Jimmy 10 is the promo code. 10% off of your order and free shipping and an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Every order over $100. There you go. Numana. Thank you guys so much for that. The Fadernauts really appreciate it. Also, the breaking news announced today, Steve Murillo and I had a few questions for NASA. And concerning that video that we posted and then so quickly pulled down, upsetting everybody, but we had to do it. There was a reason for that. I will talk about that in just a minute. But so Steve and I reached out to NASA, and they replied. Yeah, 12 hours later, they replied. They answered everything. So I will get to that in just a bit. I'll read the letters to you and their responses, okay? Get to that in just a bit. Our next event will be the Conscious Life Expo. It's coming up February 9th through the 12th, 2018 at the LAX Hilton. Tickets and info are over at jimmychurchradio.com. Just click on the Conscious Life Expo banner that we have on the website. It'll take you straight over, answer all of your questions. It's going to be a full weekend. Look at when you go to their website, look at how many speakers are there. Okay, that is a full-on event. There's a lot of big things that are going on all weekend, like the Ancient Aliens panel I'll be hosting on Friday night. Saturday night, there's a party, the Summer of Love party. I keep forgetting because I was 5 during the Summer of Love, but I'll be hosting that party Saturday night. George Norrie has his panel. He also has his meet and greet. That's going on all weekend, so come and hang out with us. It's going to be amazing. It's just a very fun weekend, and we will have a booth there with River Moon Coffee, so you can come and visit us at the booth. We'll have T-shirts and other stuff there. And, of course, River Moon Coffee, Juanita and Jeff. Ronnie McMullen's going to be there from Life Change Tea. He's going to have a booth. And also Chip Paul from New Pharma is going to be there, too, as well. So, look, it's a full Fadernight weekend over at the Conscious Life Expo. Tickets are really affordable, too. So we'll see you there. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. Over 790 archive shows right there. Custom apps, Apple, Android, just $2 a month. Okay, help support the show and go and get the podcast. You can also become a Fadernight. Somebody emailed me today wanting to know about archives and how that is handled and stuff. Okay, so in our membership section, which is different from the podcast, our membership section, those archives are commercial free and they are downloadable. Okay, totally different from the podcast, which that's just $2 a month. You get the commercials, and you have the software, you have the apps, and they're not downloadable. If you want downloadable archives to play back any way you wish, which are MP3s, commercial-free, you've got to go to our membership section on the site. There are plenty of different ways to get the flavors that you need, but they're all right there. And you can also get autographed hats and T-shirts and all of that stuff. That's the membership section. Different from the podcast. That is when you become an official Fadernight. And there you go. Let's get the show cracking. We got a lot to do tonight. Happy birthday to today, by the way. Dave Bautista is 48 years old. Now, he's a wrestler. Right? I think he's even MMA. Is he or just a wrestler or just MMA or both? Doesn't matter. That's not where I know him from. Dave Bautista was Drax. Drax the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, the red dude with the tats. Right? Drax. Dave Bautista. He's really, really good in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, by the way. Happy birthday. He's 48 years old. Also today, Korn frontman Jonathan Davis is 47. There you go, man. Are we getting old when Jonathan Davis is 47? Kind of feels weird, right? I'm looking at Twitter here. You know what? Who is going to Conscious Life Expo? Put it up in Twitter. Let's get a feel for how many Fadernauts are going to be at the Conscious Life Expo. Let us know right there, okay? And I just want a head count. I want to know who to expect. Okay, on this day in history, OTD. It went down. Oh, he's green? Why was I thinking he was red? No. You got the wrong dude. Drax is red. Drax the Destroyer. Oh, don't give me that. Drax the Destroyer is red. Why do you see he's green? I would say that dude is red. Okay, maybe I'm looking at his doll here. His tats are red. Yeah, and he's looking kind of red to me. In my mind, he's red. That dude's red. Okay, look, I'm going to post this picture right here. Drax, you tell me what color you think he is. What color is this? What color is Drax? Okay, all right, you guys tell me. Let's do votes right now. Let's do votes, KGR. And I can do this on Thursday night, man. This is my show. My show. Okay. This is their promotional pick. And you tell me, what do you, man, he looks pretty red to me. I mean, I see the green. I understand. It's not really green. It's more gray. And it's just kind of like skin tone. But dude I would say that is red. Oh. Let's get this fight. Both MMA and WWE. Okay, that's good. I don't know. In my mind says Drax is red. Yeah, I'm looking at, I just feel red. Drax is gray with red lines. Holly says she's going. All right. Okay. All right. So anyway. And he was in Blade Runner. Yes, I know. See, I told you, Rita. That was Drax in Blade Runner. We were watching. Man, Blade Runner's really good, by the way, if you haven't seen the new one. But, yeah, I mean, Drax, to me, my mind says red. He's not blue like in the film. Looks gray to me, though. Yeah, with red highlights. and the tats cover nearly everything. You know? And the tats are red. Man, he's red to me. You're red to me. Yeah, I'm going red. Drax is gray with red tats. I know. Okay, where am I at? Oh, 1912. On this day in history, OTD. After a 2-month ordeal, explorer Robert Falcon Scott arrives at the South Pole, only to find that Roald Amundsen had beaten them there by just over a month. Disappointed, the exhausted explorers prepared for a long and difficult journey back to their base camp with the note that Amundsen left for them that said, and I'm quoting here, "At least you now know that the earth is not flat." So you got that going for you. End quote. Yeah, it really happened on this day in 1912. Fader fact. Now look, right now we've got this battle going on with the ratings from around the world. And it's been trading between Australia, Canada, and the UK, right? Who is the number 2 spot. And this last couple of weeks, it's been Australia's number 2. And I think that's because Breaking Mysterious is playing over in Australia. But now it's playing over in the UK. And all of those promotions are going on. So now the UK has moved past Canada and is nearly tied with Australia. So I put this Fader fact together today for all of our fans over in England. Are you ready? England is smaller than New York State. Yeah, go ahead and light up Twitter right now. That's a fact. England is smaller than New York State. All that power, all that juice, man, taking over countries, took over India, took over Africa, took over Hong Kong. I mean, Japan, right? And it's smaller than New York State. You got to love that. Man. All right. Tonight's another Fader night in the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport, followed by open lines all night long. The call-in numbers right there, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. All right, what everybody's been waiting for, let's get to it. So, Steve Murillo and I had a few questions for NASA. And Steve texted me yesterday. Now, look, Steve was like, man, there's something wrong with this. The satellites are too close together. They're supposed to be 137 miles apart, 220 kilometers. And as they move, well, in this video, they're right on top of each other. How big are these? What's really going on here? Something's not right. I don't know. There's some deception going on. And altitudes and miles. And we were, we were concerned. Now, it looks like the Grace. There isn't any Grace photographs online. It turns out there's a few dig, and those have been posted too as well. Is the video real? Is it not? What's going on? Did we capture something? But we immediately, we pulled the video down for a few things. Number one, I was amazed with the image, and the video didn't look like a satellite that I had ever seen. And I posted a video that said just that, man. I think we captured the first close-up of a UFO. Well, it turns out it was, everybody posted that it was the Gray satellite. We went and looked at the images of that, and we pulled it down because of what I said. We should have, because of my narration. Maybe my narration should have been a little bit different. Maybe we should have left the video up and let the online community fight it out. That's true, too. But it's also an official NASA video. And the concerns that were out there with our community, we, Steve said, I'm going to go do this. He said, you do it or I'll do it. I said, you know what? Go ahead. You write the email and put my name on it, and let's see if we get a response. So he did. And then he said, you should call him. And I said, no, you call him. So Steve also called him and left a voicemail. They didn't answer the voicemail. But Alan D. Buis, and I hope I'm saying his name right, is who we wrote and left the voicemail to. We pulled the video down after Race Hobbs had found out that, and went to the website. And once this Grace started popping up, everybody else did too as well. And we had to pull the video down. But we found one of the team leaders for the Grace satellite system, Alan D. Buis, at NASA JPL right here in Pasadena, just over the hill from us from Faded Black's bunker, by the way. Just go over the mountain behind the studio here, and you're at JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And we wrote him. And just after 12 hours, we got a reply back from NASA and Alan. This is the email that we sent to him, okay? This is it. I'm just going to read it to you. Could you please take a look at this video and comment briefly on whether or not these two objects are, in fact, the Grace satellite system? And then we included the link right there to YouTube. And Steve continues, this video has been getting a great deal of attention within the UFO community, as you can imagine. It appears to be Grace. The only contradiction is that the separation between the two objects appears to be far less than 137 miles or 220 kilometers. Any comments or clarification or you can provide would be greatly appreciated, especially in terms of the distance between the two objects. Now, to be clear, the Grace satellite system was two satellites that had to be separated at 137 miles, 220 kilometers, measuring the gravity changes on Earth, and those gravity changes would cause the satellites to change their distance between the two of them. Very, very, very small amounts. But when it measured these changes between the two satellites, that indicated changes in measurements of gravity on planet Earth. That was the mission's objective. Okay? So we're talking about 137 miles. In the video, the objects are, the two Grace satellites are apparently 100 feet apart. And so if they're 100 feet apart, that's certainly not 137 miles. Or if it's 137 miles, that would make the Grace satellites 30 miles across, end to end, as opposed to whatever, 10 or 12 feet, the way that they are depicted in the photographs here on Earth. So anyway, those were our questions, and that was the email sent. This is Alan's reply. Officially from NASA, word for word. His reply is, quote, this is a visualization created for a NASA TV video file a long time ago. It does depict the twin Grace satellites. The distances are not to scale. The Grace mission ended in October 2017, and only one of the two satellites is still in orbit. They are not UFOs. Thanks, Alan. Now, the key words here, the key word is this is a visualization. It's an animation. It's not even a real video. It was an animation that NASA put together for NASA TV. Understand what I just said. Now, let me continue here. That's the end of Alan's letter. And I wrote him back, thank you for replying. If there's anything else, and he wrote back, yes, thank you, Jimmy. Okay, cool. So we have an open dialogue between NASA, Murillo, and Fade to Black, if we need to go there. Okay, so that's cool. We have open communication. Now, for Steve and I, there are a couple of issues to look at here, confirming the NASA statement. First, and I need you to understand this, ISS, the International Space Station, is at 254 miles. Okay? The Grace satellites were in orbit, polar orbit, at 286 miles. That would put the Grace satellites 32 miles above the International Space Station. The video is shot from above, not from below. That would confirm them, NASA, saying that this is an animation that we created for NASA television. If it was a live video feed, it would have been shot from below, and we would have been looking at the bottom of the Grace satellites. Also, in the video, in the animation, the satellites turn. They come from the north over the North Pole. They come down, and then they turn, and that looks like they're headed east. Now, if it was an actual video from the live feed, I want you to think about this for a second. If you were, it depends on what the angle is of the ISS in its orbit at that time and so forth. And it's going in one direction at 17,000 miles an hour. And the gray satellites look like they're going away from the space station. It seems to be an impossible shot, right? If it was a live feed and the gray satellites are turning. So, and it's also shot from above. It makes everything, if it was a real video, impossible to have shot. These are important things to make note of here. There's no question that it was crisp and clear and fun to look at and so forth. But it was an animation. And the animation part of it was brought to my attention before I got the reply back from NASA. And I got a couple of emails, and long and detailed. I'm not going to get into all of that, but both saying that the video was not real, that it was a real video, but that it was animation. Okay? And for a lot of reasons that I don't understand, and I'm not going to get into here, but it involved one of these emails. This was from a professional animator, and he just pointed out a long list of stuff involving direction and angles and altitude and lighting and pixels and all kinds of stuff that I really don't understand. But one thing is for sure, the persons who emailed me saying that it was animation didn't know that NASA also confirmed this today, which I find very, very interesting. I didn't notice these things, but when you're a professional animator and you're looking at this and you're looking at reflections and angles and pixels and shadows and directions and everything else, you are seeing things that other people just don't out here in the real world. I don't see those things. And this was a cell phone video that was shot off of a television monitor, so it's also second generation. If you take everything at face value and it's a real video of a real thing and it's really the ISS, now we have to take a bunch of things into consideration. I had said this to Race, and I also said this to Steve. If you look at this and you look at, even if it's a fisheye lens and all of that, but if you look at how big these objects are over Earth as they are coming down, they're bleeping huge. Huge. These aren't 10 feet across. You're looking at them coming at you, right? And the way that they turn, and the way that the Earth, you are assuming here that these things are hundreds of feet long, maybe a mile. I don't know, but they're certainly big. And how would two satellites, if they are satellites, be orbiting Earth that close together without hitting each other? Or the dangers of that. You would be concerned about that and turning and making all of these things. But if it's an animation, now the ratios of size versus Earth and all of that, they're excused because it's not real. It's simply not real. And that's why we pulled the video down. I pulled the video down because if it's the gray satellite, if that's what it is, then the way I narrated it was incorrect. If we do repost the video, I will repost the video with all of the information that I have now, and that it is apparently an animation, and I will leave it for the UFO community to debate. I'll let you guys do that. I've got a high-res version of the video. I've got all the stills and everything else that we captured and enlarged. I have all of that, and we can post that up there and we can make it happen. But as far as I'm concerned right now, and I know it's NASA, and I get that, and I know what everybody wants to say, and I understand that. But for me, with these answers, with what I know about altitudes and sizes and everything else, I think it's case closed. It's just simply an animation video. All right. Got to get out of here, man. Let's get Jon Rappoport in here for his No More Fake Newsroom. Then we'll open up the phone lines later on tonight. I'm going to talk some Bitcoin. We'll talk this NASA video. And also the ISS. We don't have a ride up there anymore. We'll talk about that too as well. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back with Jon Rappoport. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Natural Health Solutions with Chris and Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Great, Chris.
Now, you're the CEO of GetTheTea.com, right?
Yes, I am.
What is GetTheTea.com? I mean, is this tea you buy in a store?
Well, no, it's not. Life Change Tea is just that. Life-changing. Life Change Tea is an herbal tea that gently cleanses your body from intruders.
What do you mean by intruders?
Well, intruders are toxins, chemicals, GMOs, heavy metals, and more. They're in our food, in our water, in our air we breathe.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
And Life Change Tea will help you with removing these, as you say, intruders?
That's right, Chris.
Are there side effects with this tea?
Well, you might lose a little weight. When you clean your colon, you lose weight, you feel better, and you have more energy.
Wow. Ronnie, where can people purchase Life Change Tea?
Oh, that's easy. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
Ronnie, I want to thank you for being on the show. People, don't forget, GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA. The Planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at kgraradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. kgraradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Manson. You're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake Newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world as it is fed to us every day by the Ministry of Truth is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash. They all go down and we see the light of day, a new day. No more robots, no more androids. It's the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you very much. Good to be here, folks. As usual, the flu outbreak. I've been covering these so-called outbreaks, epidemics, pandemics since 1987. And so I see patterns, I see things that repeat, I see the same questions that pop up. I see the same propaganda. I see the same lack of independent research being given its due. So I'm going to try to dig into some of this tonight. First of all, we have no real accurate numbers on flu or the flu outbreak. We have, the hospitals are jammed, they're overcrowded, we don't know what to do, we're building tents, so-and-so died in 48 hours. In other words, a kind of a hodgepodge of non-scientific, shall we call it, information, which leads to we don't know. But the overall effect is certainly to scare people, to frighten them, to make them think perhaps that the first vague sign of something they think might be flu would get them to rush to their doctor or to even go to an emergency ward, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which could be, of course, contributing to all of this. So that's the first point. People say, well, I know there's all kinds of things happening because my neighbor and the guy down the street and Yeah. Well, I've heard all that before in other cases that turned out to be so-called epidemics that turned out to be duds. So that is not sufficient, believe me, to estimate how many people is this really affecting and what is the this? Is it one thing? For example, as I probably mentioned here before in the show, the typical symptoms of flu, such as cough, fever, chills, muscle ache, fatigue, they can be caused by a whole variety of things, and different things in different people, and different combinations of causes in different people, such as severe nutritional deficiency combined with excessive cold weather, combined with breathing indoor air without limit in a place, a house, an apartment where the air is not clean, contaminated, etc., etc. So we are definitely not necessarily dealing with with one thing. And as I've found since 1987, that is the hardest thing to drive home to people, that point. I've had long discussions with people. I've written articles where I say, the assumption that this is all the same thing that we're observing here, caused by the same thing, has not been proven. And people, yes. And at the end of it, they say, but then what is it? What is it? They go right back to the one thing, the one outbreak that is caused by the same thing, no matter who you're talking about or how many people you're talking about, when that is, I'm afraid to say, not necessarily the case at all. And I've broken this down in articles I've written in the past and indicated that what you assume is one disease caused by one thing turns out to be several or even many different causes resulting in the same basic symptoms. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that somebody with an independent lab should examine the flu vaccine for this season and see exactly what's in it. I mean, down to the bottom line molecules, to find out the possibility that the flu vaccine has been making a number of people sick. Some of these flu vaccines, for example, still contain mercury, a known major league neurotoxin and other types of toxin in the body, mercury. Also to keep in mind, major media stories have indicated that this year's flu vaccine, according to their standards, and I underline that, is only about 10% effective. At the same time, we see articles appearing now where there is a rush to create a universal flu vaccine that they say would be bulletproof in protecting people from every kind of flu, no matter what the current virus is of the season, no matter what variety of flu virus we're talking about. And I would just point out, it's very convenient that we have this conjunction this year, which on the one hand, well, this year's flu vaccine is really very, very ineffective. Oh, but look, we're researching like mad to create this super duper universal flu vaccine that will, quote, protect everybody from every kind of flu. Makes great promotion for the universal flu vaccine. So, some of this information that I'll now present, I presented before, but you can look at it in a new light because now we are talking about what experts and media and government are calling a massive flu outbreak across the United States. For example, in the British Medical Journal, and my articles on this give the exact citation, the author Peter Doshi analyzed CDC statistics for flu deaths in the year 2001. How many people died from the flu in the U.S.? And so the official report from the CDC was 62,034 deaths from the flu in 2001. However, the CDC doesn't simply list flu, it lists flu plus pneumonia as one category. So when they might loosely refer to flu deaths, they're really talking about flu plus pneumonia. How does this break down statistically? Well, again, Doshi, looking at the CDC statistics for 2001, discovered that the CDC itself was talking about only 257 flu deaths in 2001. The rest were all pneumonia, not caused by the flu virus. Only 257. And of those 257, only 18 cases existed in which the flu virus was actually identified. So, according to their rules of the game, in the year 2001, the CDC could only assuredly say that 18 people died of the flu. That's quite incredible. Let me break that down for you again. The year 2001, 62,034 deaths from flu plus pneumonia, of which only 257 were the flu, and of those, only 18 cases could be really said with certainty to be the flu, because that's the number in which the flu virus was identified. That should give everybody pause for thought. Now, author Doshi, some years later, also in the British Medical Journal, pointed out that every year, hundreds of thousands of respiratory samples are sent from likely or diagnosed flu patients to laboratories for analysis, and overwhelmingly they come back with no sign of flu whatsoever. That's another staggering fact. So even in those cases where doctors are identifying patients as having the flu, it turns out that in 84% of those instances, laboratories only come up with the flu virus in 16% of the cases. all of this is pointing to the fact that the actual flu, if you go by conventional definitions, which means caused by a flu virus, the statistics on both deaths from flu and actual flu cases are hugely overhyped by doctors and by the CDC when they throw out estimates. That's quite remarkable. So here we have this supposed gigantic flu season. But if we were to look at past history and track record, we would see that really this turns out not to be the flu most of the time. So then, of course, people are going to say, then what is it if it's not the flu? What is it that's knocking down all these people? What is it that's causing all these people to go to hospitals and doctors' offices and so forth? What is it? And that is making the assumption that there is an it, a single it, which is not proven whatsoever, as you can see by what I've just said. It is not proven that there is an it. So the guy down the block from you who winds up at the hospital or the doctor's office with various symptoms is not necessarily suffering from the same thing as the guy that you know at work who went to his doctor because he had these symptoms and thought he had the flu. These are not necessarily the same things at all. Could be many, many different factors, such as the ones I mentioned earlier, or other factors. A generally weak immune system in the face of very cold weather, or environmental pollution plus weak immune system, or junk food diet plus very cold weather, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Every season, many people have these symptoms. And as reports indicate, which I've just cited to you, in the overwhelming percentage of cases, laboratory analysis, official analysis, does not show the flu, does not show the flu virus. So instead of immediately saying, then what is it, consider the possibility that this it is many different things which produce this same profile, the same general set of symptoms. As hard as that might be to accept. And also add in, as I said at the top, that the fear, the uncertainty, even in some cases the hysteria, is being whipped up by the press all the time, currently. Therefore, people who have a chill, a bit of a chill, a headache, feel some fatigue, will tend to assume that they, quote, have the flu, and they will go to their doctor or to even an emergency ward in some cases. And they can be diagnosed, eyeball diagnosis by a doctor who is overworked. You've got the flu. You've got the flu. But statistics do not bear that out. In other words, and I know this is difficult for many people to even consider, there is a giant ongoing hoax about the flu. And one more time, I will repeat for you one of the most egregious cases in which this happened, so you can now see it in the context of the current fear and hysteria about this year's flu, and that was the swine flu of 2009, when star CBS investigative reporter Sharyl Attkisson discovered in the fall of 2009, at the height of the so-called swine flu epidemic and all that hysteria, that the CDC had secretly stopped counting cases of flu in the U.S. while still promoting the idea that it was a massive epidemic. Secretly stopped counting cases, and she found out why. And I interviewed her about this, and she was very forthright about it. The reason was that of all the samples from patients, the respiratory samples sent to labs, the overwhelming majority were coming back with no sign of swine flu or any other kind of flu. Panic ensued at the CDC. What are they going to do? They're hyping this gigantic epidemic, which does not, by report and analysis, even exist. Right? And that story was published at the CBS News website in the fall of 2009. And then, as came out in the interview that I did with her, she and her editor, who loved the story, tried to get it on the CBS Evening News telecast, which is a much bigger deal than the CBS News website. And they were absolutely shut down. The Evening News would not carry the story, nor did she get an assignment to probe further on this story, which, I mean, had staggering implications. Only, a hoax, basically, the implication. And the fact that people were being urged to take an experimental vaccine, which caused people many serious problems, as it turned out, for the swine flu. That was the story at CBS, Sharyl Attkisson and the swine flu. And as I discovered in fishing around, about 3 weeks after Attkisson had the story published at CBS on their website, an article appeared in the press. I found a version of it at WebMD, and I give the citation in my articles about this, in which the CDC estimates that during the swine flu, quote, epidemic, there were 22 million cases of swine flu in the United States. In other words, if you're trying to hide one lie, tell an even bigger lie, a much bigger lie. That's how the CDC handled it. Now, if you can digest what I just said here, you can now begin to have some serious questions about what's happening in this so-called flu outbreak across the United States. My MO as a reporter on these kinds of issues since 1987 has always been, do not rush to judgment and assume that what you're being told is a massive outbreak of the same thing, and there are many, 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 many cases of the it. Don't assume that is necessarily true at all. Dig further, because, and I'll just say because everything I just said in the last 25 minutes here, things are not what they seem. And the hysteria and the hype and the demand that people get the vaccine and they do this and they do that and they do this and they do that, despite the fact that the experts, by their own standards, are saying that the flu vaccine of this year has extremely low effectiveness. Just shows you the lengths to which these people will go to promote their agenda and to force people into getting vaccines, no matter what the truth is, no matter what the facts are. And I'll close with this. Some of you, on hearing what I'm saying and understanding what the press is doing with the current, quote, flu outbreak in the U.S., are thinking to yourself, well, if all this is true, that would mean, my God. And then you would think of 4 or 5 things, more lies, more deception, and so on and so forth. You are now on the verge of becoming a reporter, a real reporter, because that's what a real reporter actually does. You find out something that is mind-boggling, you confirm it, you publish it, you make it known, and you're also saying to yourself, well, if they did this, if they're telling that lie, what are the implications that stem from this? And you will inevitably discover that the story goes even deeper, much deeper. And then, if you're an actual reporter, you track that. You keep going. You keep digging to find out what other basic assumptions are being made here by the experts that are being propagandized to the people that turn out to be completely and utterly false. Now you're down the rabbit hole, and now you begin to uncover the incredible reality construction, or as I sometimes call it, reality manufacturing that goes on, not just with the flu and not just in the field of medicine, but in all major issues connected with all major institutions. It's the reality manufacturing company, and you're discovering what lies behind that front. And that is a very interesting thing to do, my friends. And that's my report for tonight.
Always interesting this time of year with you, John. Always.
Yes. All right.
And there's one thing, and I want to thank you before we run out of time here for that. But I have noticed, and I got the emails and a couple of things this week from people that are going, am I supposed to feel this sick after a flu shot? You know, can somebody give, and it's so interesting how I hear that time after time. I do not do the flu shots. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to recommend one way or another to anybody. But I don't get the flu, right? And I don't take the flu shots. I'm going to ask you this. I asked you this last year. I'm going to do it again. When was the last time you got a flu shot?
Never.
Is that safe?
Well, I'm okay.
Right. You know?
Right.
And at your age, and my age, right? We're not that far apart. That's part of the scare tactic that they use, right? It's the very young and it's the very old. You know, that's where you need, and it's just really funny how they go right to that emotion right away.
Right away.
Hey, John, thank you so much. I know you went from San Diego out. I'm going to let everybody know John moved. The NSA was following him, and he had to move. But
let's just say the East Coast. Okay?
Yeah, he's out on the East Coast, but you haven't seen snow in a long time, have you?
No. and I'm seeing it now, and it's quite strange. It's white. It's white.
John, go enjoy the cold. It was 75 here today in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
I'll see you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
I'll see you next week, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Jon Rappoport, and do what I do. Start your day every day at nomorefakenews.com. For 20 years ago, he invented fake news. Well, the term nomorefakenews.com. Jon Rappoport. Okay, opening up the phone lines, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. This is Fade to Black, Fadernight. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. I'll be right back taking your phone calls.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
You're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly Ancient Life Oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind. Life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go Beckley Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. It's Fadernight, Thursday night, open lines, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Any questions or comments during the show tonight, you can post them right there. Hashtag F2BQ. Okay, so a few things are on the table. Obviously, the video that we posted from NASA and their response. I would like to hear from all of you about that. And the ISS, I'm going to get to this in just a bit, but it turns out we don't have a ride up to the ISS. Yeah, think about that. I don't know who is planning the future of our space program or the $100 billion space station that we have up there, but it looks like we don't have a ride up there, and I'll get to that in just a bit. And also Bitcoin, I've got a little bit on that too as well. We'll talk about that, and certainly it has dropped in its value. It's dropped almost half. It went down to half, and it's recovered a little bit today. I think it's up to 11 grand, 11.9, like 11,900, 11,006, 11,009 today. We'll talk about that. I've got a few takes on that. With that, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
It's Damien from Hamilton.
Hey, Damien, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. I just wanted to call in. It's just to remind all the Fadernauts, they're big. The changes are coming, Jimmy, and it's like I can feel it, and I just wanted to call in and everybody forget about all the negative stuff. Put all that aside. Put your best energy out there, and like I said, it's just positive vibes, Jimmy. That's all I want to say. Is just we need to stay together around at these times, Jimmy.
Well, what do you think is coming, Damien?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know what is coming. I know there's something's coming, and it's a good thing though, Jimmy. It's something it's coming, and we just have to concentrate. I know there's a lot of negativity in the world right now, and things going on, but there's something that's going to happen, Jimmy, and it's going to be for the good, and we're the ones that were supposed to be there and to relay the message for everybody else, Jimmy. It's a step forward that I don't know what it is, but I don't know, Jimmy.
Yeah, but the negativity, it's an obvious thing. It doesn't matter what you bring up. What the subject matter is, everybody has got a way to go negative in the opposite of what it doesn't matter, right? I brought up Bitcoin.
Exactly.
I brought up Bitcoin this week, and everybody wants to fight about Bitcoin. It's like, dude, what do you want to fight about that
Bitcoin
for?
Bitcoin doesn't even exist. It is something that's made up.
Yeah, and so there's, it's like I said this the other night on the show, and I really, really mean this. I could bring up chocolate pudding, and I can start a fight. I can bring up Granny Smith apples. Gonna have a fight.
Exactly, right?
Gonna have a fight. The other night on the show, I said a life without sugar isn't worth living. Man, you should have seen the emails I got about that. Why would you go and say that, man? Why would you go and say that? People out there that are susceptible to this, and you go and you encourage. I'm like, so what, man? What are you doing?
I know, what are you talking about? I feel the same way. What are you talking about? Life is it can be really simple. It's like, why do you question all this stuff? And you don't want to give me
crazy. It's crazy to me. And you know what? If drinking, I'm gonna say this right now. I am just gonna sound so wrong, but I believe this. I believe this in my bones. Going to a taco truck here in Southern California, going up and ordering my tacos, and getting an ice cold bottle of Mexican Coke that the nice lady in the taco truck, or man, right, turns around and pulls out of an ice chest, right, with the ice right there, and you pop the top. And while I'm waiting for my tacos, I'll drink that whole bottle. But anyway, that first right down and that first sip, And you know what? If that makes me happy and I want to talk about it, that's on me. And I'm telling you right now, nothing gets more glorious than that moment. And if I'm on my deathbed, and the doctor comes in and says, Church, man, you could have lived a couple of more days if you didn't drink those Mexican Cokes. I'm going to go, you know what? So be it. But at that moment, when that bottle that was so cold it stuck to my hand, and I took that sip and it went down, it was worth it.
Hey, Jimmy, listen to this. Okay, so I never really asked you a question. So what do you think about, you asked me, what do you, like Damien, what do you think is coming? What do you think, Jimmy? What do you think is coming?
I think
just be honest. Like whatever. I know it might sound crazy, but it's not crazy at all.
No,
right?
not at all. This is what this is what I think. I know as a fact. That we are being visited right now. You and I are talking on the phone right now. Above us, something is cruising around in the atmosphere, checking out us from somewhere else in the universe. Okay? That is going down. We have had a semi-tasty disclosure back in December. It is going to continue. And that confirmation, the absolute confirmation, is going to happen. It's going to happen here soon. And when I say soon, a month, 2 months, 3 months, and it's going to be great. And the rest of the planet just has to deal with it. I think that the rest of the planet knows that we're not alone, and I don't think that anybody's going to be shocked, and we're not going to have this crazy turmoil and religions collapse and the economy collapses. No. That's not going to happen, and it is going to be an enlightening moment for this planet to know that we are not alone in the universe, officially. And I'll tell you why, and I mean this. The alternative of that is the government reveals to us that it is a fact that we are alone in the universe. You want to have problems on this planet? Go ahead and say that, because then we have no reason to live. We have no reason. Exactly. Let's just burn this mother down, man. Let's party like it's 1999.
But you know what, Jimmy? Like, this is like, if somebody asked me, like, what would you want? Like, if you had, like, one thing to wish for, you know what I would wish for? It would be to feed all the starving children that die in other countries.
I'm down.
And it's like, if I had the money, Jimmy, like, I would do that. Like, I would, like, I see homeless people, I was giving money.
Yep.
And I don't even have enough for myself. And I'm not trying to say that I'm better than others. No, that's not what I'm saying. Like,
that's the way it should be. But Damien, that's the way it should be. Look, I'll tell you, something happened for me a couple of weeks ago. It was a Friday night. I'm on my way to Coast, right? I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And so I'm stopping by this convenience store to pick up, some snacks for me to eat, during the show. I got 4 hours. I got to take a lunch break or whatever, 3 minutes and have some whatever. And I'm there. And next to me, and I noticed when I pulled up to the convenience store, outside was this homeless, and I'm going to say Asian, I'm guessing here, but an Asian lady, and I don't know, 30 years old, but, had a couple of backpacks with her and a bag, and just, she was homeless, and she didn't ask me for money, but I walked in, and next to me, so I'm loading up my stuff at the counter. Next to me is this white guy, I'm going to say mid-30s, homeless, right? And he's got his hands out, and he hasn't bathed in a while. His hands are dirty, right? And he's got some change, and he's got this stuff up on the counter, and like a couple of hamburgers, I remember that, and from the convenience store, hot box or whatever. So he's got that up there, a couple of bags of chips, I think a couple of Cokes or something like that, and it's on the counter, and he's paying with change. And at that moment, the lady comes in from outside, comes up to the two of them, and it's cold, man. It was really, really cold outside. And she comes up and she goes over and she gets some napkins and she comes up and they don't have the money to pay for this. And I just turned to them and I said, look, man, it's cold outside. And he's like, hey, man, he gave me that look like mind your own business. And I said, look, I'll pay for their food. Just take your stuff. Is it already rung up? And the guy goes, yeah. I said, okay, take your stuff, go outside. Just go, And he looked at me and said, thank you, man. I said, you know what? Just try to stay warm. I'm on my way to work, right? But that's what you do at a moment like that. You don't ignore that, and you don't say to yourself, oh, man, he doesn't have money to pay for his food. He's homeless.
And Jimmy, look, and you don't expect anything in return, right?
No, and
you don't do that.
And
I do the same thing.
It's not like I came home that night and told Rita what happened. It's just one of those things I kept to myself. But if the rest of the world had that attitude,
exactly,
it would be a different place. It would just be a different place. And they were so happy. And I have to go out after that. They're outside. They're standing next to my car. Which is, it's not exactly a used car, right? And I've got to walk out in my clothes, and I'm clean. I'm going to a frigging radio station to host and the worlds collided for me at that moment. I didn't feel good about myself. I know that in that, I'm getting in my warm car. I'm driving to a studio, and they are left standing there in the cold. And it just...
Yeah, wondering where they're going to sleep.
Yeah, man, it just felt weird to me. And I had to drive the coast and prep and go on the show, and I couldn't get this out of my mind, and... but,
yeah, Jimmy, you're like... I know you're compassionate. I'm always been like that. Like, even since, I was a child, even if I have $1 left and I don't have something left, I'll still go buy somebody, a soda, whatever. It's like... I don't know, but you know what, Jimmy? Things are going to change. That you asked me, what do you think is coming? I think it's going to be something good for humanity and in general. It's not even, when I say something's coming, it's not even, I don't think about money, or money is irrelevant,
you're right.
You're right.
You're right. Thank you.
Jimmy, that's it.
That's it. Hey, Damien.
Yeah.
Be thankful. Thank you for calling. First caller up tonight, and just have a great. I'll see you tomorrow night on Coast. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday right here on the show.
All right, Jimmy. Look, I'm gonna say hey, peace and love to everybody, all the Fadernights, positive vibes, and I love what you're doing. And Rita, hey, hi, how you doing? And positive vibes, and I love you guys. And Fadernights, just stay positive and stay strong.
Thank you, Damien. It's a great message.
I love everybody.
Thank you so much. Great call. And, he's right, though. If the rest of the world, just had that vibe, it'd be a better place. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy.
Yes.
Hi, first-time caller, Bob from Queens.
Hi, Bob from Queens. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, Jimmy. You are an inspiration, man.
You're an inspiration, Bob.
You're an inspiration. I'm trying to be an inspiration. I'm a singer. I've got an album out, first time, been at a long time. I hope to make the world a little better with my music. And the thing is, I called you because, I've had so many experiences out of this world that I don't even want to talk about them, really. But one I want to tell you about is one time I was walking down by this diner in Queens a few years back.
Right.
And I'm looking up. Now, there's no way this has to be from out of this world. I'm looking up. I'm at these, I think they're golf balls flying around, or bubbles flying around the air, right?
Right.
And they circle over my head, Jim. They circle over my head, and I'm looking up. What the heck is this? And all of a sudden, the most incredible speed, they shot up into the air.
How big were they?
They were big as about golf balls.
They were as big as golf balls and shot up into the sky. How long did it last?
Yep. That lasted maybe, I would say, maybe 15 minutes.
Wow, that's incredible. And what color? Yeah, what color were they?
That's why I know. And I've had so many other experiences. But I told you about some of them. It would probably blow your mind, because it blows my mind too, because it's still happening. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you, but something is telling me that I've got to do this with my music. And now I'm starting to get out there, and my music is starting to make an impact. In fact, I've wrote a whole new music around snowboarding, and I've updated the yodel, and it's catching on pretty good. I've got one station in Cincinnati, WBEN, Kid Chris. He played it on the air, and I'm hoping some other stations.
Well, you should post him up on Twitter for us.
Put it on Twitter?
Yeah, put it on Twitter.
On your Twitter?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
We'll have.
So I go to Jimmy. What is it? Jimmy Church Twitter?
It's well, you can find me that way. Sure, it's J Church Radio. You can find me as Jimmy
Church Radio.
Yeah, on Twitter.
Okay.
And use the use the hashtag F2B, and we'll get it out there for you, man. We'll all go check it out.
Okay, hashtag F2B, right?
Yep, hashtag F2B.
Tag S. What is it? Hashtag what?
F and the number 2.
Oh, F, right?
Yeah, for Fade to Black.
F as in Frank, right?
Yeah, Fade to Black, F2B.
Oh, Fade to Black. Oh, yeah, cool. FTD. Oh, FT.
Yeah, man.
FTB, yeah. I got it.
Yeah. we want to check it out.
Okay, great. Yeah. And, this guy who's talking to you right now, he's absolutely right. We're all here to do a job, and we're all here to help our fellow man. And I'm hoping to do it with my music. Once it get out there, I have so many ideas and everything. It's taken me a long time. But have you ever heard of the actor Kevin Kline?
Of course. Love Kevin Kline.
Well, his son Owen is in my band and stuff, and he's helping me so much. He's like my soul brother, you know? And I've been trying quite a while, and I call myself a young older because I don't believe I'm out of the matrix completely. Jimmy. I don't believe in it. All I believe is in my soul, my heart, and God. You know, that's it. I don't believe any of the things they say.
Now, has Kevin Kline? Have you met him? Has he come and checked out your band?
Yes, I did. In fact, I did karaoke with him one night.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, his son's birthday party.
Oh, that is too cool. Love Kevin Kline. Now, does Kevin believe, has he seen anything in the skies? You get a chance to talk to him about that?
I haven't talked to him never about anything like that. Owen is pretty much out there. He is very open-minded, yeah. And my other friend, Sam Colgan, he's another singer with the band. He's open-minded, too. And we're just trying to make this world a little better, you know. And he's got a heart of gold, and so does Kevin. And what I want to do, I really believe I was put here to do this. I've had pulled down. I pick myself up and get right back in again because I've got so many ideas, Jimmy. And it's a long, hard fight, but I believe that's what I'm here for, you know?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think that the music community, and I've talked about it a lot, has a lot of influence. And there are those,
of course.
There are those out there, some pretty big rock stars and rappers and stuff that have seen things. They believe what they have seen, and they influence their audience, you know, and it's just, Bob, it's another piece to the puzzle. Spreading the message, getting it out there, talking about
Jimmy, absolutely right. And though I've had so many experiences, I mean, I'm going to write a book someday. I mean, if I told you what was happening now, I just don't, but I've had so many, I mean, they're completely out of this world. I mean,
well, that's what and that's why, as a musician, you write about what you know, and also,
right, you know, absolutely right, Jimmy.
Yeah,
and this a lot of this music stuff came to me in dreams. I mean, this idea for the snowboarding yodeling thing came to me in dreams because one night I dreamed this song about there's a little man. Some time to time he's going tick-a-tack, beat the bottom, and all of a sudden, this could go great in the snowboarding with a new kind of yodeling sound. That's what I did.
Right. Well, you've got to post it, get it up on Twitter.
I will,
and we'll check it out, man.
Okay, all right. That's one. Now let me get this straight again. It's Jimmy Church Radio at Twitter, right?
Yeah, at J Church Radio. Just look it up on Twitter. Look up Jimmy Church. You'll see Jimmy Church Radio, J Church Radio, and get it up there.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's great.
I'll look forward right now.
Oh man, yeah, okay. And. I listened to you on Coast to Coast. I called George a couple of times with one of my songs called Jingle Bell Yodel. He played it on his show one night when I was singing before I made the album.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
He said you liked it, And so, yeah.
Well, make it happen.
I think Corey is telling the truth. I think that Andy Bugatti. I mean, have you talked to Andy Bugatti?
Andy Bishago. Andy Bishago.
Yeah,
yes.
Bishago, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about all this?
I think, Andy's a friend. He's a friend of the show. I did a TV show with him, too, a couple of years ago. I've sat and talked to him a lot. He has got a very compelling story. And
he certainly does.
His ability to recall and events and dates and names and places and put it all together is fascinating to me. And I just, with anything, Bob, as is with anything in our community, some of this is pretty fantastical for people to listen to.
Of course, we're living in a science fiction world.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing, really. I wouldn't be surprised to see Superman fly in the sky. I mean, I'm joking around, of course, but hey, nothing surprises me anymore.
And we have to listen to everybody. We have to.
That's right. You got to listen to everybody because I kid around about alternate universes and stuff like that, and I'm definitely into superheroes and stuff because I've always loved this agenda. In fact, I created one of my own someday. I hope it was a comic book called Astro Man, and I dreamed that one too. And so. Anyway, I wish you are, and as I said, you are an inspiration. You and George, and of course, the other ones like Linda Moulton Howe and Heather Wade and a whole bunch. They're great, and so you guys keep on doing what you're doing. God bless you. All right.
Thank you so much, Bob, and be safe and be well and be warm out there.
I am going to do everything to keep my health and keep healthy. And as I said, I don't believe a word they say. I just believe in myself, my heart, and God, and that's it. And you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Okay, Jim?
Yeah, thank you, Bob. Perfect timing because we've got to go to commercial. So, man, it's like Bob had the studio clock in front of him, and he knew exactly what to do next. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Fadernight. It's open lines all night long. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. More of your phone calls are next. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy.
Do you worry a lot? Whether you're a college student, busy professional, parent, or grandparent, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in 1 to 2 weeks. Call 1-800-758-8746 or calmandclever.com.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Fade to Black. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Best night of the week. Call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Got a lot of things I want to talk about tonight. And the UFO video being one, the NASA video and their response. 2, Bitcoin. And 3, the ISS space station. We don't have a ride up there anymore. Think about that. And, of course, anything else that you would like to discuss. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live. 3, 2.
Hi, this is Phil Christophers.
Oh, hey, Phil. How are you?
Yeah, in Washington.
How are you,
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing good, man. What's on your mind?
Well, I want to kind of... Hello?
Yeah, your phone line's cutting in and out, man. Why don't you call right back? I'll put you at the front of the line.
Well, no, man. I'll stand right here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just going to echo Damien's call. You know, come from the heart, go to the heart, connect your brain to your heart, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, the video, man, I'm sorry about that. I was kind of hopeful from what you were talking about that would have turned out to be something.
Yeah, we were hopeful, too. I mean, it was an amazing video. And, Phil, your phone has got some really loud pops in it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll answer your question off the air because it's really, really loud for the audience when they hear that. But, yeah, we were hopeful, too. Okay, the things that made the video cool, as it turns out, if it was an animation, that's what made it so crisp and clear. Okay, I was during one of the breaks, I was down in Rita's studio, and she said to me this. She goes, "Look, why with the video, if you're going to create an animation video, why do it incorrectly if you're NASA? Why would you have them too close together when that's not actually what's going on? What's the purpose of that?" That's a really good question, and that may be worth another email back to NASA and ask them, why would you do it? Why would you represent it the wrong way? That was kind of weird. And also, why do it below if you're going to have it appear to be shot from the ISS? And the way that it was zooming up and everything, trying to make it look real like that, are you doing, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But the animation questions were all put forward to me in a couple of emails where I'm not an animation guy, but they know what they're looking for, and they were seeing it. And then to have that response come back from NASA was like, wow, I guess maybe it is an animation video. I'm not, I don't have those kinds of eyes. So let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, this is Susan calling from Vermont. How you doing?
Hi, Susan from Vermont. How are you?
I'm doing well. I wanted to talk a little about your guest speaker there that was talking about the flu, okay?
Right.
All right. The flu shots are totally bogus. I mean, you remember you're talking about the Georgia Guidestones before?
Right.
All right. And how do they think they're going to reduce this population? Okay, so they say everyone's getting the flu, so you better go get your flu shot. Well, then people die from it. It's not their fault. People had the flu, right?
Right.
So, I mean, in a sense, I'm not a fearmonger. I'm not against vaccines per se. But I do think that those flu shots are not really, because, it's called the Center for Disease Control. It doesn't say anything about disease prevention, So I'm kind of, I wonder about that myself. I never had a flu shot, and if people get sick, their body has to fight it off. That's the natural thing, right?
You would think.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting, but I really appreciate what you're doing. And, David and Corey, they're awesome, and Linda Moulton Howe, I listen to you guys all the time. And as I mentioned before, I am an experiencer, and I don't want to get into that, but I did kind of want to ask a question about this event, this solar event, if you can talk anything about that.
Well, what's your question about it?
Well, what is actually, do you think, is going to happen?
Okay. Well, there's 50 answers to that, Susan. There really is, if you think about it. Now, a couple of weeks ago on the show, I had made this comment, this scenario situation, and I was talking about what if somebody figured out an instant way to turn off all of the computers in the world, right, all at once. Some crazy hacker that figured out a way to just shut everything down and for ransom, for money, for not, maybe for kicks, whatever. But if that actually happened, what would we do? How would you find out about it, right? Because it doesn't just affect your computers. It affects everything. That's water, heat, electricity, the news, your cell phones, right? And the people that get the news wouldn't be able to get the news, even to broadcast the news. They wouldn't be able to broadcast the news out. So you would wake up in the morning, right? And walk out, and maybe your electricity's not on, right? And how do you figure that out? You figure that out because you're trying to brew some coffee and your coffee maker's not working. So you turn around.
Make some toast.
Right. And so what do? You walk outside, check the fuse box. You paid your electric bill, right? And your fuse box, and you're kind of looking around and everything's kind of quiet, and you're like, wow, no electricity. Oh, maybe there's an accident up the street. The fuse box got knocked out. Okay, so you go, what you don't understand is everything out there worldwide has now stopped. You've now got a couple of days to get food because all the food's going to be gone shortly. You're not going to have any water. You don't even know these things yet, right? Now, without going through and reviewing everything that I had just said, that's a possibility that we don't want to encounter. And if we have a solar event, right, a large solar event, how are we prepared for that? This is just one answer of 50 that I was just saying to you, okay? But now let's look at that for an example. If that came in and our electrical grid got shut down, the satellites got burned out, and communication was shut down, and we've got no internet, we've got no distribution of food or water or electricity, we have no way to get the news, you can't use your cell phone, how are you going to get news? Is a neighbor going to come and knock on your door and tell you something? No, because your neighbor doesn't have... Right. Your neighbor doesn't have news, so there's none of that. And how many hours away, once everybody starts to figure out that there is nothing, how many hours away are we from absolute pandemonium breakdown of society? How many, and that is what a major solar event could bring here. Something that we don't have any control over. And again, not to fearmonger, not to do any of that. It's a natural thing, and this planet has gone through it many, many, many times. But today, if it happens, things burn up, the electrical grid and everything else. That's part of the issue. But the other thing is, how ready are we? That's the thing. How ready are you? Susan, right now, I'm going to ask you a question. How many cases of bottled water are in your garage?
Jeez, well, see, I have a gravity-fed water system. It comes off the hill, so it just comes down in my house.
Right. Okay.
So that doesn't matter. That doesn't have electricity. It doesn't have nothing. It just comes in.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
Okay. And notice my question. Right. The first thing is water. You need water to survive. Right.
Water.
Now,
yeah.
How many neighbors do you have up there?
Well, a few here. I kind of live in a resort area, so there's more people in the summertime. But,
right.
In the winter, I've got a couple people that live within walking distance.
Okay. How many people do you think are going to be in your neighborhood unexpected when they find out you've got the water and they don't?
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha.
Now, and these are things to consider here. And all the other obvious things. I mean, do you have food to last for a month?
I don't.
No, nobody does. Nobody does. Right? There are.
I eat it all.
That's what people do, and we are in that. We are acclimated to that, being able to go down to the market and buy food and come back home, cook and eat and have fun. But in the event of something crazy like some major solar event that could go down, how ready is everybody? I'm fortunate. I've got a great sponsor on the show, right? Numana. So I've got right. Food storage, and Rita and I have prepped, and we have cases of stuff, and we're ready to go. We have flashlights, we have batteries, we have lanterns. We're good. If something goes down, we have cases of water. If something goes down, we're good for a couple of weeks. But if our neighbors find out that we're good, you know what I mean? And so that's and again, this is just one answer to the situation. I don't know. The other part with any of these solar events, it seems like when they happen, we're caught by surprise. And I don't know.
Well, they said it happened back in like the 1800s or something like that, but all they had was some telegraph lines or
That's
whatever.
right.
So,
and they all caught on fire.
yeah. But then it was back online who knows when, but it's not like it is now where everyone depends on all of it. The fuel dealers depend on it to deliver their fuel. They got to order it. They've got everything's on a computer. You know?
Yep. Yeah, and
pretty crazy. Yeah.
These are the questions I would like, and this is what I had. I proposed a couple of ideas, but one, I think that our electrical system, at its very minimum, should be just independent of the internet. Should just be and protected, and we've got to figure out a way to protect it against EMPs and internet malware. And if we did that, at a very minimum, maybe we can keep some systems running in the event of something crazy going down. That's all, just in the bare minimum. But you're absolutely right. The solar flare, and thank you, Susan, for the phone call. Stay warm up there in Vermont.
Hey, I will, and you too, Jimmy. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. The solar flare idea or the solar event is something that we don't have any control over. If it happens, how many minutes do we have? How many minutes? I don't know. At the speed of light, or how fast it travels from the sun to the earth, and I've heard different reports of it. All of it is fast, right? It's not like we have a week, we don't have any of that. And this is the other thing, and always remember this: Earth is orbiting the sun. The solar event comes out. So it would have to, the timing of it, we would have to pass in front of it or through it at that moment and so forth. But how many of them occur every single day that we don't know about, that just passes, right, that are out there heading in the other direction? All of these things are things to consider. So let's go to the phone. Let's try this. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Oh. Somebody was there. Somebody is gone. Okay, I'm going to go to the other phone bank here. Let's just do it this way. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
It's Mark from Australia.
Hey, Mark from Australia. Say it again.
Mark from Australia. Love the accent.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. First-time caller. Love your attitude. Love how you treat everyone with respect. And listen to everyone.
Now, Mark, have you been watching Breaking Mysterious out there in Australia?
Well, I've heard a lot about it from various people. I haven't started watching it yet, but will. It's on my list.
Okay, good. Let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it's definitely on my list to watch. Now, the reason I've rung in is I want to give you a scenario. Imagine Jimmy Church has been elected President of the United States, which is not so far-fetched if you consider recent events.
Well done.
And you're in the Oval Office, and your very first briefing, someone comes in a dark suit and dark sunglasses, and they come up to you and to give you your first security briefing, and they say, let's start with the hard stuff first, and then it's all downhill from there. There are UFOs. They're real. They're in the air, real craft. Satellites pick them up, coming in. Rah, rah, rah. NORAD has got them. We know all about this. So you sit there, and then the person says to you, do you consider that you are a patriot, Jimmy?
Do I consider
what would you say to that?
Is this during the briefing, or is this right now from you to me on this phone call?
No, this is the briefing.
If I made it that far to the Oval Office, I consider myself a patriot. If I made it to the Oval Office or not.
And what does it mean?
What does patriot mean?
What would it mean to you?
It's funny that you say that, because somebody was talking about this the other day and we got all involved in the definition of patriot and what it really is, what the definition is, right? And it's really kind of weird because the definition of patriot, I think, is different to other people. My definition of patriot is that it's country first, no matter what. It's country first, no matter what, no matter how you consider anything. It's country first.
Right.
Right?
Well, that's fantastic.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
So that's my
So
definition.
the man said, go ahead.
I said that's my definition. Country first, no matter what.
Great. So the guy says to you, that's fantastic, Jimmy, so we can rely on you as President of the United States. Now, given what I have just told you, we have zero control over our airspace, and we have zero control over our national security. So as a patriot of the United States, are you going to go out in front of those microphones on the White House lawn and announce to the world that we have zero control over our airspace? That is, people can't get on a plane and fly anywhere safely, guaranteed, and we have zero control over our national security. Are you going to do that?
Well, now that would depend on, Mark, that would depend on one of two things, my answer, okay? Is this alien presence that I'm being briefed on hostile, right? They don't want us flying, and we don't have control of our airspace because they want to shoot everything down. That's the first. Or second, are they benevolent? Are they okay with us, and they don't have issue, and they're not out there to shoot our planes down? So that's
great question.
Okay, so that would depend. Now, if they are,
he would say to you, "We don't know."
And
they are so sophisticated.
Right.
They are so sophisticated.
Right.
We have no idea where they're from. We don't know if they're interdimensional.
Okay.
We don't know if they're from outer space.
Right. Okay, if that was the answer I got, then I'm telling the world. I'm going out in front of the American people and saying, E.T. is here. That's what I would do.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Fair enough.
Now,
but
let me tell
I would suggest.
Well, let me say this, Mark, and I don't mean to interrupt you, my friend, but let me say this. If the Russians had aircraft like we do, right? Full on stealth bombers, stealth missiles, stealth everything. They can shut down our radar and our missile defenses and everything. And they absolutely could come here and invade with impunity, and there was nothing that we could do about it. It would be the same consideration. Do you tell the American people that? Do you tell the American people that our stuff is we have no defense, we can't do anything? That would cause the same pandemonium in the streets than telling them that ET was here. You know, so
exactly.
So what do you do with that? I mean, what do you do with that? And that threat, that same threat that I just referred to, all of the countries in the world know that we have stealth bombers, that we have a missile system that is nearly perfect. We have stealth fighters. We have night vision on every single troop. We every single guy can see in the dark. We have GPS on the back of every single soldier. We can do whatever. We have we have how many aircraft carriers, how many submarines. This is what every country in the world is faced with. If they piss us off, we can go in and they don't see us coming. You know, and that's a pretty trippy thing. And imagine if we had that facing the United States, which we do not at this point. You know, so those same considerations come in with ET. Now, if ET is not hostile, if they are not, or we don't know if they are hostile, no, I'm going public. I'm going to go right with it. They need to know.
Well, it's interesting because I would say everyone has to ask themselves that question, because it's an interesting moral question to ask yourself whether you would go public. And they could also say that ET doesn't think at the moment that it's a great idea to disclose. Doesn't appear to be in their best interest, doesn't appear to be in the public's best interest because they're capable of doing it. So why wouldn't we be lobbying ET to disclose?
Yeah, that's if we're in direct communication with them, like communication, that obviously would have to be a question that is being asked of them. I would certainly ask that very question. You're right about that. But let me turn this around on you. What is the attitude over in Australia about this? About ETs or about American politics? American. I don't do politics on this show, but I'm sure that you would have a lot to talk about there. About this disclosure that just happened in December and this talk about UFO government programs and the contact that we have been making with them. What are you guys talking about over there? Well, the reason I sort of brought this up in general, or more specifically, is that these are the sort of questions that should be fired at Mr. Elizondo, because he has been, portrayed as a patriot. So that's a badge of honour. And he also talks about Jim Mattis for glowing terms, and that he's got a very high regard for him. And so people should be saying, if this is the first release ever in history of UFO footage captured by military assets, ever. Okay, so they've managed to keep all their thousands of feet of footage secret for 70 years. This is the very first time it's got out. That is the key to this whole issue. How has that footage been released? Now, no one has gone hard at Elizondo on that. So, for instance, he says, no one's got the answer to that. And you would say to him, are you proposing to Mattis that he needs to announce that Mattis, the great patriot, has no control over US airspace? Is that what you want him to do? Or is this a rogue release? Is this somehow a rogue release that you are doing separate to the US government, or is this a sanctioned release? And when you look at what DeLong has said a year or two ago, DeLong said many times, people within the US government want to help me get this message out. Right. So is that a sanction from the US government, or is it not? And no one has gone at Elizondo hard, really hard, and kept at him saying, how did this get released? It's all very well for these guys to be ex-employees now, him and Justice and Mellon and all them. They're all ex-employees. Right. Gives them a cushion. Right. But whoever released the footage, whoever released it, is an employee. Well, the government, see, and the other flip side of this, and I've got to head to a commercial, Mark, so I want to thank you in case we run up against that. But the government has not said that the video is not real, that the Pentagon is not behind this, that the White House and that nobody has stepped up and said no. That right there, that silence is as telling as anything. But let me say this really quick about Australia. Our audience over there is huge, and we love everybody in Australia. That's no joke. But I'm going to say this. You guys, the Westall High School, the Westall School in Melbourne in 1960, that is one of the most incredible UFO events in the history of everything. And you guys have that over there. And you have the same issues with your government and Westall and other things over in Australia, too. It's not just Westall. But you guys have the same issues with your government and disclosure that we have over here. And if our skies aren't defensible, neither are yours or anybody else on this planet. It's not just the United States. That's why this is a worldwide thing that we have to consider. And it's not just us. With Roswell, you guys have Westall And you have Pine Gap, man. You guys have your own situations over there that are just as extraordinary as what we deal with here in the United States.
Absolutely. Jimmy, thanks for giving me the time to be on the show. Love this show. Love you. And all the best wishes to everyone in the States.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mark. And it's a great phone call. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, I wanted him to say Fade to Black, man. I messed that one up. Thank you, Mark. And yes, everybody thought that was Mark Tarana, right? And so did I for a second, but that was a phone call. Mark always calls in on Skype. I know it's him in advance. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Open lines all night long, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I'll be right back.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Fadernight, Thursday night, 825-323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Open lines all night long. I'll get to the calls here in a second, but I had mentioned this earlier in the show, and I want to get to this right now, which is astronauts may soon have no way to reach our space station, $100 billion space station. And I posted this up earlier today, and I want everybody to understand that yesterday, a House subcommittee held a hearing on NASA's program to build new spaceships to reach the International Space Station. Now, Boeing and SpaceX, the two contractors in the program, are experiencing delays due to NASA's stringent safety requirements, right? The only means of reaching the ISS, Russia's Soyuz spacecraft, may not be able to fly astronauts after 2019. We are in 2018, folks. That could mean astronauts will soon have no way to get to and from our space station. Now, NASA has spent the better part of 20 years and $100 billion working on the International Space Station. They're saying now that it's complete. It's the size of a football field. It is humongous. But the problem is the lack of available spaceships. And not only here, we don't have anything, and over in Russia. And we have been buying more and more, purchasing tickets, seats on Soyuz to get astronauts to and from the space station. And it's an incredible position for us to be in. Now, which I don't understand. We do have the two projects, one of them SpaceX with their, it's called the Crew Dragon capsule, and the other one, which is Boeing's CST-100 Starliner spacecraft. And the two of them are not ready. They were supposed to be ready in 2016, both of them, to not only start crewed testing, right, but flying to the space station in 2017. Now they don't know. They do not know. And the House subcommittee yesterday said that they didn't even believe that the dates that were given to them from SpaceX and from Boeing, which is that hopefully we could have crewed testing in late 2018, maybe 2019, and we'll be able to get this done before the Soyuz program runs out. That's a crazy position to be in. And if anything happened with Soyuz right now, there isn't anything ready. Think about this. Now, we shut down the shuttle program. I don't even know the date, man. When did we shut down the shuttle? 2007, 2006? I don't have that data right in front of me. But the point is that, no, the space shuttle was retired in 2011. I don't know why I was thinking 2007. 2011. So 6 years ago. And I said then, to everybody that was around me, why would we shut down the shuttle program? That just doesn't make any sense, right? There's nothing on the horizon. We don't have anything there, and we just shut the program down. And as it turns out today, we probably are wishing we didn't do it. Now, we've got another shuttle, right? I've posted pictures of that is being prepared, and it's pretty cool looking, and it's years off. Now, who in NASA planning this has allowed this to happen? I truly don't understand this. It just doesn't make any sense that you would end the shuttle program without having anything else behind it. And before we get into black projects and there's other things and secret space program, well, I'm talking about what the public knows. What the public knows about, that we don't have a program in place immediately. When the shuttle program was shut down, 2011, that day we had something else ready to go. that this is what we're working on and not a problem, and this is what is next. I don't understand that kind of vision. Does it make any sense to you? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. It just doesn't. And if anything goes with, so what if, I mean, seriously, what if the relationship that we have, and I've spoken about this before, the relationship that we have with Russia right now, it seems that, and again, this is, we are faced with what we get from the mainstream media, and we're faced with what we get from the Oval Office. But it seems that it ain't good right now. That's the picture that we're painted. But if it goes south, what if the Russians just said, you know what, screw it. That's it. We're keeping it to ourselves. They could. It certainly seems that we have that attitude. Now, backing off of that for a second, the relationship that we have with our space program with Russia seems to move around and avoid politics. That there is a definite amount of open communication there between our two space agencies. And they don't have any issues between them, and they keep politics out of it. That's the way that it appears to me. One of the reasons why I say that is true, and I do want to hear from you on this, one of the reasons why I say that is true is flat Earth. The reasons why. And I say that not in jest, but if you know, all those flat earthers out there just sat up and said, you know, Jimmy just said flat earth on the air. What I mean by that is, if the flat earthers theories are correct, that everything is fake, right? Everything is shot with a fisheye lens, that the earth is flat, and everything on ISS, and everything that Russia, and everything that the United States or Japan or India or anybody else that has been on the International Space Station that has viewed Earth, everybody is in on it. All of the videos, all of the photographs, everything. There is a mass cooperation between China, Russia, Japan, Spain, Great Britain, Canada, and just pick a country that has sent an astronaut up into space, that they are all in on it. And that with all the tensions between the United States and Russia right now, apparently in our space program, they are so good that every video released shows a round planet. Right? So anyway, I'm making a joke here. But what I'm trying to say is the cooperation between our two countries when it comes to our space programs seems to be solid. But what if Putin just said, you know what, no more Soyuz? What do we have as a backup? And apparently, as of yesterday, with this subcommittee hearing, right now, we've got nothing. The subcommittee got out of them that, and I'm talking about SpaceX and Boeing, that they can't even depend on their subcontractors to deliver the gear to them that will pass the safety requirements in time to continue the testing of the both spacecraft here on the ground right now. And it's not happening. And they can't depend on anything going on right now with the timetable and the calendar that is presented to move forward. We don't have it, and there isn't anything on the schedule right now definitively to test any of this. So now let me back up one step. With all of this that I've just painted for you right now, how is it, and this is just to get to low Earth orbit, 254 miles up, how is it that we were able to, in the 60s, to get men to the moon and back, go through Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo from 1960 to 1968? How is that possible? Because in 1968, we were orbiting the moon. We went to the dark side of the moon. Forget about 1969 and Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Forget about that part. How are we able to do that? What is different now? I just don't understand it. With all of the technology, all of the advancements, everything that we are able to do, and right now we can't build a system fast enough to get our astronauts up and back to and from the ISS. I'm just saying. And I'm just a guy on a radio show. And I can see this and I can figure this out on my own. Right? We have to ask these questions to ourselves. I really don't understand. And with all of these safety requirements, why isn't right now, just like Kennedy did, why isn't Trump or whoever is in the Oval Office doesn't right now go in and say to NASA and to SpaceX and to Boeing, dudes, get this right and get this right now. That's it. That's it. The safety of our astronauts is paramount, and we've got to be able to get up there and back now. Get it done. And nobody wants to say anything about this. And we just want to continue to prolong these programs and spend this money. I don't understand it. Elon Musk, I'm so irate about this. Elon Musk can go and get his reusable rockets to turn around and land on a platform in the middle of the ocean, right? And we can't get astronauts up to the ISS? Something's not making sense. To me, something isn't making sense. I don't think we're being told the truth. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. The amount of money, the amount of budgeting that has been put forward to this, and it's not like, this is the other thing, it's not like they didn't know about this. We were told that we were going to have manned testing in 2016. Okay? The delays, now check this out, and I'm quoting right here. Okay, delays by Boeing and SpaceX prompted the space agency to purchase more seats from Soyuz, but it appears that even that option is about to expire. Now, I'm quoting, Soyuz capability is available through the fall of 2019. That's a year and a half away. And that's the head of NASA Human Exploration Operations Directorate. That's what he told the subcommittee yesterday. How do you go in front of the subcommittee and say these things without, I mean, what you are admitting to is we have nothing planned. He added, the manufacturing time of the Soyuz is approximately 3 years and will not allow additional Soyuz to be manufactured. This is coming from Russia. That means that by the end of 2019, if Boeing can't certify its CST-100 Starliner or SpaceX with its Crew Dragon capsule, astronauts will have no way to reach the ISS for, and this is what they said yesterday, and I'm quoting here, an indeterminate amount of time. They don't have anything planned. They've got nothing. They couldn't take anything to the subcommittee. They weren't able to give them dates or this is what's going on, and then we're going to do this. We're going to go to A, B, and C, and then that's it, and we're going to be there, and this is... No. And they know that the Soyuz deadline is right there. There's nothing that can be done beyond that. And we're depending on Russia for all of this. That's where our dependence lies. And before that, before Soyuz, it was all of our rocket engines were coming from Russia. We didn't have anything. We weren't building our own rocket engines over here. And this is nothing new. I'm telling you, the stakes are immense here. The ISS, they're saying, I said this earlier, they're saying that the ISS is now complete. So if it is complete, and this should be disturbing to everybody that is listening to my voice right now. If it is complete, that means it's not going to get more better than it is today. It's in its prime. It's prime. It's like 24 years old, an athlete, right? It's like in its prime condition. It's only going to go downhill from here. And so this window of opportunity that we have here over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years with the ISS is in serious jeopardy. It is incredible to me. You look at the ISS, if you go outside and it's going to orbit overhead, you can look up and you can see it with the naked eye. You get a pair of binoculars and you look at the ISS and you look at how beautiful it is with its solar panel, and it's solar panels, and it's so big and so immense, and there it is flying overhead. Very soon, it's going to be orbiting with nobody on it. And no way to get anybody there in the foreseeable future. Who's going to maintain it? Right? What, you're just going to shut down all of the systems, turn off the lights, jump on the last 3 and jump on soy and abandon it? Is that crazy to you without any plans or anything? I'm just blown away by this. Now, if we go back, I'll get to the phone calls in a second, but this is just too important. It needs to be talked about. Boeing and SpaceX both won the multi-stage competition and have so far, and check this, listen to me, $4.82 billion paid to Boeing. SpaceX has gotten $3.14 billion of your taxpayer money to fund their work, and it's not ready. And NASA comes back with their answers. Well, and the Government Accountability Office also said the same thing, that both contractor systems must meet a standard for crew safety that is much higher than for the shuttle. And when I found this out, this just blew my mind. The space shuttle had a 1 in 90 chance of crew loss. That was the standard, believe it or not. Not 1 in a million. 1 in 90. And now, so they've got this higher standard, which, by the way, everybody is not talking about that, what that number is. So what is it? 1 in 200? What's this number? 1 in 90 seems really, really low for crew loss, and it seems that we met that standard, right? Twice. A considerable amount of work remains, and the determination of whether the contractors will meet this requirement, right now, is an unanswered question. Nobody can give an answer. Both Boeing and SpaceX have delayed scheduled uncrewed and crewed launches, as well as final certification testing, and they don't have a date set. It's open-ended, and the funding continues. SpaceX was supposed to launch its first crewed flight by the end of 2016 and have NASA approved its certification, a step that the government requires before NASA can pick that space taxi, right, for its astronauts, by the end of last summer. Meanwhile, Boeing was supposed to have crewed test flights by the end of this summer and have NASA certify it by this fall. Now, those dates have come and gone without any crewed flights or certifications. It's like in the past, and nobody's got an answer for this. According to NASA and the testimonies before the subcommittee yesterday, SpaceX is now targeting December of 2018 for its first crew demonstration flight, and February 2019 for certification. Boeing is looking at October for its first crewed flight and January 2019 for certification. The Government Accountability Office, which provides oversight to the federal agencies, primarily blames over-optimistic contractor schedules for the delays and is even skeptical of the new dates. The GAO report was released on Wednesday, yesterday, and it says the commercial crew program is tracking risk that both contractors could experience additional scheduled delays based on our ongoing work. We found that the program's own analysis indicates that certification is likely to slip into December 2019 for SpaceX and February 2020 for Boeing. Now, during the hearing, all of these implications and challenges were laid out. And I'm quoting here, aggressive schedules and delays are not atypical for programs developing new launch vehicles and or crew vehicles, and we see them on all types of contracts. But in this case, the delays and uncertain final certification dates raise questions about whether the U.S. will have uninterrupted access to the space station beyond 2019. NASA may move to purchase additional Soyuz seats, but as they mentioned, there are limits to how it can be done and do. This is crazy. After the crews of the Space Shuttles Challenger and Columbia died in those accidents, government investigations concluded that NASA had emphasized meeting its schedules at the expense of proper safety protocols. Today, NASA is not shy about proclaiming its new modus operandi. Of the delays, he said that NASA is aware of the schedule but not driven by the schedule. This is insane to me. Now, check this out. This was also in the subcommittee hearing yesterday, and I'm quoting here. This is from Representative Lamar Smith of Texas. He's a Republican, and he chairs the subcommittee on science, space, and technology. He said, with the end of the ISS on the horizon, the clock is ticking on maximizing the return on the taxpayer's investment. The longer we wait for the commercial crew program, the less we can accomplish on the ISS. That's exactly what it's just like everybody recognizes this, and we knew this was coming a decade ago. We knew this. The shuttle program ended in 2011. And none of this, there were no backup plans. There was nothing. It's amazing to me. All I'm saying is this. If Boeing and SpaceX can't certify spaceships before, NASA runs out of Soyuz flight options, our astronauts are going to find themselves with nowhere to go and nothing to do. And that space station up there is going to orbit this Earth empty. There is nothing. And I mean, if we really look at the worst case scenario here, which for me is a very real possibility, these two spacecraft, which haven't been certified, haven't been flown, haven't been tested, all of that is on the horizon. If the two of them don't pass certification, or if something blows up on the launch pad, if something goes catastrophically wrong, there is no answer. None. Think about that for a second. All right, my rant is over. This is so important. So important. So important. Let's take a break, and I'll come back to more of your phone calls. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. It's Fadernight, Thursday night, open lines. I'll be right back.
To my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy, spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. Get the tea.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. Get the tea.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hey, can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at naturesyouth.com. Naturesyouth.com. The holidays are coming. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight, our last segment of the night. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Open lines all night long. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Annie.
Hi, Annie. How are you?
I'm great. Good show so far tonight. Jimmy, as usual?
It's always fun on a Thursday, isn't it?
It really is. Good end of the week. So, you talked about a lot tonight, but why are you so upset about the space station?
Why am I so upset about it? Because we spent $100 billion of my money and your money on it?
It was kind of rhetorical. Well, you know, they don't tell us the truth, so they probably do have ways to get up there and get people down. And, you know, per David and other people were already on Mars and who knows where else.
Well, wouldn't it be funny? Well,
is a lie bothering you more than the actual truth?
That's exactly what I was about to say, Annie. See, that's called synchronicity. And it's this. Okay, let's say, right? Let's say the Dragon and the 100 from Boeing, right, and SpaceX. They don't get certified, right? They don't get certified. And they go, well, you know, but we've got this other thing that we've been working on in the background. So we're just going to use that. It's all well and good. If they come out with that,
you know, they'll use it anyway.
Well, you know, okay, all right. I'm cool with that for a second. But then I'm going to say Boeing and SpaceX needs to give me my money back. We just, you know, we're talking about.
They need to give us a lot of money back.
You know, that's
from a lot of things.
That's $10 billion.
The $500 hammers, everything that they've charged us over for.
Yeah, that lie I would be upset about. You know, you take the money and you show us these spacecraft. They don't get certified. They never go up in the air. Whatever it is, and we have some backup space shuttle that we've been developing in secret, and it's okay. And we get up to okay, great. I'm happy about that. But there's some accountability that needs to come into play here. You know, I think Elon would have to take out his checkbook, and so would Boeing. And
do they allow them to have checkbooks? Do they trust them with checkbooks?
Right.
I know, but. You know, what are you going to do? Supposedly Trump is trying to unhinge them all so that they can fess up about all this. I hope that's the truth.
Would you be upset if it happened like that?
Well, if it happened like
they had to. We had another project in the background, and we were running, and SpaceX and Boeing got to keep $10 billion.
Oh yeah, of course. I've known about this actually since 1970. I've known about these things for a long time, and I guess after a while you do get jaded because you're just like, okay, they're doing it again. Right. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty maddening. But what bothers me is that other people who don't know about it aren't upset.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Annie. And thank you for the phone call and making me, have a...
Let me say one thing real quick. You know the supposed disclosure you guys had on the 16th of December?
Right.
Kara Cassidy believes that it's probably just disclosure of our technology. And so it's yet another lie to pacify us.
Well, it's always another opinion to consider. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, see, the thing is... with somebody like Carrie or anybody out there that has a voice, it's just an opinion. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have any secret sources that or a direct connection to any information. Neither does she or anybody else. Nobody does. Unless this is always my answer. And thank you for the phone call, Annie. Seriously.
David Wilcock comes close.
Yeah, he does.
But,
thank you for the phone call.
Thanks. You take it easy, Jimmy.
Yeah, you too, Annie. My point is with this always is unless, okay, and let me be clear here, unless you have been to the Pentagon, to the meetings yourself, unless you have been to JPL in the meetings, unless you have been in the Oval Office in the meetings, then you don't know anything. You don't know anything. The only thing that you know is what you have heard. Mass media, press releases, some quote-unquote whistleblower that hasn't been, and whoever the whistleblower is, it doesn't matter. You know, Luis Elizondo and what's going on over at To the Stars, that's a little bit different because those folks have CVs and resumes that can be vetted and verified. But outside of that, when it comes to anybody else out there, it's just an opinion. That's all it is. Just like me. It's just an opinion. I don't have any secret inside anything to anything. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Brendan, Jimmy, from Los Angeles, California.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, but I really want to know, how are you?
How's Spoon?
No,
I'm pretty sure that's the question you were going to ask, right?
How is Spoon?
Spoon is doing fantastic. She's a crazy little devil. I got to tell you, she reminds me a lot of like Teddy or something, man, because she's tearing everything apart. She knows better, but if there's nobody around, she will try to tear the house apart.
Well, that's a good dog.
Oh, well, you know that. I just wanted to call in and actually talk about two different separate things. But,
Sure.
Okay, so first off, I want to say the shows this week were absolutely amazing. I actually very much enjoyed the shows this week, and thank you, Jimmy.
Oh, thank you, Brandon. Thank you so much, and you know that. Just thank you so much.
Oh, you don't have to say stuff like that to me, but I understand where you're coming from. My second question was, You know, I really do have to ask this question because we haven't gotten this show yet, and I know you're not able to say that much. I understand, Jimmy. I understand. But please tell me that we are gonna cover the underwater base.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's episode 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
they've
right.
already.
I just want to know that for sure, Jimmy.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was watching some of the comments from different countries.
Dude, also, I really wanted to ask you, too, did you and Peter have any conversations, about what he might be coming out and producing with, well, this is a completely different question, but, in the metal world and whatnot?
Oh, you're talking about Peter Takrin.
Yes, I am.
Yes, of course I asked him that. And this is, he told me, he might have even said this on the air, but he certainly said this to me over dinner, that he has got 5 songs written for the new Hypocrisy album.
Nice. Okay.
Right.
All right.
And so one of his things, he's probably listening right now. What's up, Peter? And I tried to get him to come back out to L.A. for NAMM next week. He may be here.
Holy hell, man. I mean, like, if that happens, I guess I got to go to NAMM.
Yeah. Well, he was here for a couple of weeks writing songs.
Yeah, dude, but, like, I didn't even know. I mean, that's your, like, that's kind of your private world, man. I don't really, I didn't know, man. Like, how I would have known, I probably would have, like, ran up to him and asked him a bunch of questions.
You know what? I'll tell you something. This is how we met, and it's really crazy. He had been listening to the show for a long time, and this is what he told me. And he kept listening to the bumper music. He's a guitar player, right? And finally, he couldn't take it anymore. And like 6 months or maybe a year ago, he writes me this email. And he says, Jimmy, this is, Peter Tay. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I didn't believe it, right? But he said, who is the bumper music? And I wrote him back, and I said, it's Doug Aldrich, Electrovision, wrote him back. And he said to me, he goes, man, you wrote me back. And I'm like, dude, of course, I try to write everybody back, but it's you.
That's insanity right there in a nutshell, dude.
And that's how we hooked up, was through music. I mean, it's this show and ufology and everything else, and that's what he's fascinated with. But it was the music on the show that motivated him to finally write me an email. And that is, how cool is that? I mean, that's how cool he is.
That's pretty awesome, man. Like, I'm not gonna. Yeah, there's not much to say about that one.
Yeah, and so Peter and I. When we talked about the new Hypocrisy album, he said that he had 5 songs written, and he's going back with the members of the band to finish writing the rest of the album and start getting into what everything is going to be about. Now, is there going to be an alien ET spin on it?
Well, there always is in a Hypocrisy album, so I would guess yes.
And also, he mentioned on this show about the artistic concept for the album cover, and that he was looking for a really good artist to help with this project, and he wanted that announced on this show, which we did. And we're going to do it again. We're going to have Peter come back for a full show, and I'm also trying to talk him into going on Coast to Coast. But
nice, all right.
But he wants the help from the community, from the UFO community, not only to develop the album cover, but ideas for songs, and he just wants to get this message out there. And I'll tell you something else, Brandon. I'm glad you brought this up. The conversations that were going on, not only with Peter, but with Gerardo Martinez.
Of course.
From Nuclear Blast Records, right? Here we have,
of course, yeah.
Yeah, the general manager of this huge record label. This is the biggest metal record label in the world, right? To have
it's huge, man. It's huge.
It's huge.
And by the way, I have to just say, go back to the tap because I have to take a drink. So.
Okay, that's fine. But to have the go back Lee Tepe, to have these two sitting in front of David Wilcock was there, and they're sitting across the table from David and I, to have every subject that we were talking about, they had an opinion on. And it didn't matter if it was the secret space program, the Greys, the Nordics, green chrome balls, night vision, Roswell. It didn't matter. They knew exactly what was going on. I was so impressed with that. I mean, it was just like talking to Richard Dolan or Linda Moulton Howe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they literally knew exactly what this community was about and how important it is, and to unite the music community with the UFO community and Fade to Black. And when they said,
but don't you think that that's crazy, Jimmy? That even when let's not even count like the KGRA, but like before that, way before that, you've been doing this for a long time, Jimmy.
Right.
And so literally, you have built up a community such as the Fadernuts that have just been able to do this incredibly, hold this community kind of together.
Well, and just that, what you just said right there was what they were saying, that the audience loves music. The audience wants these conspiracy and UFO and ET questions answered. They know that there's something going on out there in the world, whether it's interdimensional or near death or dreams or deja vu or the Mandela effect
I think it is like interdimensional, and there's probably some Mandela effect in that as well.
Yeah, and that they knew all of this, and that their community and ours was one and the same, and that we were going to figure out a way to get everybody happy and together in one big group, and that was my goal from the beginning with Fade to Black, because I love Dimebag Darrell, but I want to
Jimmy, don't get me started.
But
don't get me started on Dimebag. don't get me started, brother.
And the point is, but I also want to know what went down at Malmstrom Air Force Base or Rendlesham. And that's just who I am. And the audience is just the same. They're asking the same questions, and they listen to the same music.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll let you go.
Somebody in the background is pretty excited that I'm talking to you because she's very, very happy with Spoon.
Okay.
So,
thank you so much, Brandon, and be safe.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you go, brother, and I just want to say thank you for everything, and keep kicking ass, keep doing your job, and hopefully, this year I'll be able to go to Contact. Hopefully this year.
I'll see you out there. Thank you, Brandon. Give my best to Spoon.
All right, I always do, man. All right, take it easy, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. Brandon adopted Spoon, which was a dog that came into our world, a puppy, and was abandoned. And so we said out there to the Fadernauts who would like to adopt this beautiful puppy. And Brandon stepped up. So we went and we made sure that everything was cool, that, had everything that a puppy would need, and we put it all together. Rita and I jumped in the car and headed over to the other side of the hill, Santa Monica, where Brandon lives. And we're driving, we're on the freeway, and Rita's holding this puppy. I don't even think we gave her a name at that point. But anyway, we were like that. No, we're turning around. We can't give her away. She's too cute. And I was like, you know what? Brandon said yes, and we're going to keep going. And we did our best to keep the car on the freeway. It was, and Brandon was one of the coolest people that I've ever met. And so that's who was just on the phone. Spoon is amazing. We get the photographs and we get updated often. Okay, I've got time. I've kind of neglected the phone lines. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I got time for a couple of more calls. I wanted to get back to this thought on Bitcoin. Okay. I thought about this a lot, and there are those out there that want to, and that's fine, defend Bitcoin. That's great. That's cool. There are those out there that think that Bitcoin is completely fake and fictitious and is a tool, and there you go. So there's that. It's like that divide and conquer thing, right? So bringing up Bitcoin on this show, certainly like I did the other day, inflamed both sides of the fence. And I started to really, really, really think about this as I was going through emails today. And I let my mind wander. And this is where it went. Seriously. And I want you to think about this for a second. Bitcoin is the same as an emoji. Yep. Same thing. Or a meme. A meme. Think about it. Now, let me present this to you. What do I mean by that? As an emoji or a meme. If I created an emoji or a meme and protected it with some really nice security software, and you were able to mine emojis, Pokemon, right? Or a meme. And you were able to mine those. And you were able to convince, because this is what Bitcoin is, if you were able to convince somebody that your emoji was valuable and that it would be more valuable tomorrow than it is today, and you were able to spend your emojis and buy stuff, right? Trade it in, cash it in, your emoji, your Pokemon, whatever, right? Think about this. That's what it is. And that's okay. In a weird way, that's just fine. Supply and demand and value is all perceived, man. It's all perceived. It's all perceived. So if you think something is worth something to you and you want to pay for it, fine. It doesn't matter what it is. I brought up Beanie Babies the other day, or baseball trading cards, or anything, just anything that you can think of, some collectible thing. What is the value of it, right? Certainly, Bitcoins are not rare. There are millions of them. Millions. And you start to divide them up and cut them apart, there are a lot. You can buy $20 worth of Bitcoin right now, right? Whatever that percentage is. So it's certainly not rare. And it's also not real. It's not real. And I posted up on Twitter, for me, call me old-fashioned, but I like the kind of money that folds. I just do. And again, it's perceived value. It's perceived. You know, that's it. It's perceived. But at least I can touch it. I can put it in my pocket. I know that I can go somewhere and spend it. I can go in and buy a product for that. And then the retailer, whoever it is, buying a car or buying a Starbucks, whatever it is that you're going out, that retailer knows that what you are giving them can go in the bank and they can turn around and buy more products, pay their employees with this, and it's basically stable, and that's it, and that's the standard, right? Now, and I brought this up today, if I went into a car dealer and bought a car with Bitcoin, right? And I did it a month ago. And I went in and whatever it was, Bitcoin was $20,000, right? So I go in and buy a $100,000 car, right, with 5 Bitcoins and plop it down. And that retailer was willing to take that like an emoji, And then I leave. And they put that in the bank, and it's there. The Bitcoins are sitting there. And then they turn around this month, and they need to go and purchase stuff with Bitcoins to keep the company running, whatever it may be, right? That car dealership. And now they just lost $50,000 on one car sale. $50,000. You want to tell me that a retailer is okay with that? No. Of course not. And that instability of something that isn't real is exactly why Bitcoin is always going to have an issue behind it. I have no problems with people gambling or wishing and putting faith into something, because that's what it is. All you are is hoping that when you buy Bitcoin, that tomorrow it is worth more than it is today. That's it. It's faith on ones and zeros. Faith. And you have to look at it like that. It's no different. It is no Bitcoin. If you were able to mine emojis and you are somehow able to convince somebody that these emojis are valuable, the reason why the bottom fell out on so many different things like trading cards or Beanie Babies is because people figured out that there was no value to them. It was manufactured. It was a dream that was given. This Beanie Baby is worth more than this one. This one's rare. This one's this and that. And people freaked out, and that's where it went. And it's the same thing with Bitcoin. It's the same thing. I am for anybody. I hope Bitcoin lasts for 1,000 years, and that it's worth, like everybody's saying, by 2020, it's going to be $1 million per Bitcoin. Great. Absolutely. Okay? I'm okay with that. But you have to remember what is going on. It is nothing but faith. It's not real. It's not real. It's not any more than an emoji. It's the exact same thing. In fact, it's a Bitcoin emoji. It's an emoji named Bitcoin. You look at the Bitcoin logo, you look at that, and you're looking at an emoji that's worth 10 grand because somebody says it is so. That's it. It's an amazing world that we live in. I hope it, for those out there that want to go and play that market and go and do that, fine. Just don't borrow money to buy the Bitcoin. It better be money, like I said 2 days ago. It better be money that you're willing to walk out in the street and light on fire. If you got that kind of liquid cash, go and do it. If you can afford it, just go. I have zero problems with that. I had said today, it's no different than going to Las Vegas and walking through a casino, right? You got the front entrance of the hotel, and you got the back exit to the casino going into the buffet, right? And you're walking through the casino. Some people's slot machines are lighting up. People are over at the roulette table yelling and screaming, and the craps table. Some are winning, some are losing. That's what it is, right? Most are losing, but that's what it is. And so you walk through the casino and you feel the excitement. That's what I get looking at the Bitcoin market. There's a certain excitement there. But for me, I'm going to choose to walk out the exit on the back and go into the buffet room and get myself some dinner. I'm just going to stand by and watch. If I go into a slot machine and I'm goofing around, it's with money that I'm there to have fun with. And if you have that kind of cash and you're okay with just having fun, go jump into Bitcoin. If you don't have the money, don't do it. You're not going to go into a casino with money you don't have, right? Some do. This is Fade to Black. That concludes another episode of Fade to Black and another Fadernight down for the count. Want to remind everybody that tomorrow night I am over at Coast to Coast AM. I'm over at Coast to Coast for the weekend, by the way. And tomorrow night, my guest is Corey Good, followed by Open Lines all night long. And then Saturday, I'm over at Coast, and my guest is Anthony F. Sanchez. So come and hang out with us. The week is not going to stop tonight. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Viteau, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA The Planet. Thank you to Jon Rappoport and everybody that called and tweeted tonight. This broadcast is only copyrighted 2017 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Until tomorrow night on Coast, everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tepe.